The number hits your account, and for about 10 minutes, you are the only person on Earth who knows. It's the quietest your life will ever be. You just crossed $1 million, and the world hasn't caught up yet. And in that strange, silent window, you feel exactly like yourself. Same apartment, same shoes, same you. And then you tell one person. Just one. And that's the moment the clock starts. Because here's the thing, nobody warns you about your first million. The money changes the people around you long before it ever changes you. You think the big test is whether success will change who you are. It isn't. The real test, the one nobody prepares you for, is watching what it does to the people you love, the people you'd have sworn on your life would never treat you any differently. Some of them won't, and you will treasure those people for the rest of your life. But some of them, people whose faces you know better than your own, are about to become strangers in slow motion, right in front of you. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, and one of the hardest, least talked about truths I've learned is this. Money never creates the cracks. It just fills them with light, so you can finally see where they always were. So let's talk about what actually happens. And if this hits close to home, a like genuinely helps it reach someone else who needs to see it coming. Alright, the number just hit. Let's go. Level 1. The moment. The first thing that surprises people is how anticlimactic it is. There's no confetti. There's no swelling music. There's just you, staring at a screen, feeling a strange cocktail of pride and unease that you can't quite name yet. And in that moment, some quiet instinct tells you not to shout it from the rooftops. Listen to that instinct. That instinct is your subconscious already knowing something your conscious mind hasn't admitted yet. That the moment this information leaves your mouth, it stops being yours. So you sit with it, you feel it, and you make a decision that most people don't make until it's too late. You decide, before you tell a single soul, that this money is not going to buy you a new personality, a new set of values, or a new definition of who's actually in your corner. Because you're about to find out. Level 2. The phone starts ringing, and here's the part that'll make the hair on your arm stand up. It's the speed. Somehow, before you've told more than a handful of people, the energy shifts. A cousin you haven't spoken to in 3 years texts, out of nowhere, just checking in. An uncle who never once asked about your life suddenly wants to grab lunch. His treat, he insists, and it's never his treat. Someone from your past resurfaces with a warmth that feels a half-second too rehearsed. And you'll want to believe it's a coincidence. You'll want to believe you're being paranoid. But you're not paranoid. You're pattern matching. And the pattern is real. Because money moves through a family like a scent moves through the air. And the people who are always quietly keeping score, the ones you never even realized were keeping score, they smell it first. The speed is the tell. Genuine love doesn't check the balance before it reaches out. It just reaches out the way it always did. About nothing, about everything, the same as before. Level 3. The shift. Now it gets subtle, and subtle is what makes it hurt. The obvious money grabs, those are easy to spot. It's the quiet reclassification that gets under your skin. The way certain people start treating you differently in 100 tiny ways you can't quite point to. There's a new little edge in the jokes. Oh well, you can afford it now. Must be nice. Look at Mr. Big Shot over here. Said with a smile, always with a smile. But underneath the smile is a recalculation happening in real time. A quiet resentment dressed up as teasing. And then there's the flip side, which is almost worse. The people who suddenly can't stop praising you. Who laugh too hard at your jokes now. Who seek your opinion on things they never cared about your opinion on before. You didn't get smarter or funnier overnight. You got richer. And some people simply cannot separate the two. And watching them fail to separate the two, in real time, is one of the loneliest feelings there is. Because you realize the version of you they're now impressed by is a version that has nothing to do with who you actually are. Level 4. The ask. And it always comes. Sometimes it takes weeks. Sometimes it takes a single dinner. But it comes. And it rarely arrives as a simple, honest request. Because an honest request would be easy to say no to. Instead, it comes wrapped in obligation. It comes as an emergency that is somehow now your emergency to solve. It comes as an investment opportunity in someone's half-baked idea, where saying no doesn't mean, I don't think this will work. It means, you don't believe in me. It comes as a loan that everyone at the table already understands is a gift, dressed in the language of a loan to protect everyone's dignity. And here is the trap, the emotional trap that catches even smart people. You will feel guilty. You, the one who worked for it, sacrificed for it, took the risk for it. You will somehow be made to feel like the villain for hesitating to give it away. That guilt is not an accident. For some people, that guilt is the entire strategy, whether they're conscious of it or not. The ask is engineered so that the cost of your no feels higher than the cost of your yes. That's how a person who never risked a thing ends up feeling entitled to a share of what you risked everything for. Quick pause, because this next part is the part that separates the people who navigate this with their soul intact from the people who don't. If this is landing, drop a comment and just tell me, honestly, you think most people's families would pass this test or fail it? I'm genuinely curious what everyone's gut says. And a like helps this reach the next person about to walk into this blind. Okay, back to it. Level 5, the guilt machine. Because when the simple ask doesn't work, some people escalate. And the escalation has a script, and once you've seen the script, you can never unsee it. It starts with, "You've changed." 2 words, and they're devastating, because there's just enough truth in them to make you doubt yourself. Of course you've changed. Everyone changes. But that's not what they mean, and you both know it. What they mean is, you've stopped being useful to me in the specific way I expected you to be. Then comes, "You think you're better than us now." This one is pure judo. It takes your success and turns it into an accusation, so that the only way to prove you're still humble, still one of them, is to open your wallet. And then, the heaviest one, the one reserved for family. After everything I did for you, the invocation of a debt you never agreed to, with terms that were never disclosed, that apparently just came due the exact moment you had money. Now, I want to be careful here, because this is important. Not everyone who says these things is a manipulator. Some people are genuinely hurt and expressing it badly. The skill, the thing that protects both your money and your heart, is learning to tell the difference between someone processing a real feeling and someone running a play. And the tell is usually simple. A person with a real feeling wants to be understood. A person running a play wants a specific outcome, and no amount of understanding will satisfy them until they get it. Level 6, the real ones. But here's what I need you to hold on to through all of this, because it's the part the cynical version of this story leaves out. And leaving it out is a lie. Not everyone changes. And the ones who don't will show you something about love that you could not have learned any other way. There will be people, maybe your mom, maybe one sibling, maybe a grandparent, maybe one friend who feels like family, who treat you exactly the same the day after your million as the day before, who are happy for you in a way that has no hook in it, no angle, no quiet calculation running behind their eyes, who still tease you about the same dumb stuff, who would have shown up for you when you had nothing, and you know that because they did. Cherish them, protect them, because the same event that reveals the takers reveals the real ones with equal clarity, and most people go their whole lives without ever getting to know, with certainty, who truly loves them for them. You're about to get that certainty. It's an expensive gift, and it hurts, but it is a gift, because from now on, you'll never have to wonder. Level 7, the boundaries. So what do you actually do? And the answer is not to become cold, paranoid, and closed off, treating everyone who loves you like a suspect. That's the cheap reaction, and it doesn't protect you, it just isolates you, and it hands the money a victory it didn't earn, letting it take your warmth as a tax. The real answer is boundaries, and boundaries are not walls. A wall keeps everyone out. A boundary just decides who gets in and on what terms. So you get quiet. You stop announcing numbers. You never discuss specifics, because a specific number is an invitation to a negotiation you never agreed to. You learn the most powerful sentence in personal finance, which is a calm, warm, complete, unexplained, "No, I can't do that." Not no because. Because opens a debate. Just no. You decide in advance, on your own terms, in a clear moment, how and whether you want to be generous. So the generosity is a choice you make from strength, not a reaction you're guilted into from weakness. Because real generosity, the kind that feels good and does good, can only come from a person who is genuinely free to say no. The moment you can't say no, it stops being generosity and starts being extraction. And extraction poisons everyone it touches, the giver and the taker both. Level 8, the reframe. So here's the truth to walk away with, and it's the one that reframes this entire painful, clarifying experience. The money didn't do this. It's tempting to blame it, to think the wealth corrupted people, turned good hearts greedy. But that's not what happened, and believing it lets the wrong people off the hook. The dynamics were always there. The person who resented you was always going to resent you the second they had a reason. The person who felt entitled to your effort always felt that way, quietly, in the dark. The person who loved you cleanly always loved you cleanly. The money didn't write any of these people's characters. It just turned on the lights in a room you'd been sitting in your whole life, and now you can finally see who was always standing where. That's not a curse. It's brutal, and it's a gift, both at once. Because a person who knows with total clarity who is truly in their corner is a person who can never again be fooled, never again waste years on a relationship that was always transactional, and never again take for granted the ones who were real all along. Your first million will cost you some illusions. Let it. Illusions are the most expensive thing you can own, and you just got rid of some for free. So the next time you imagine crossing that line, hitting that number, finally making it, don't just picture the car or the house or the freedom. Picture the quiet 10 minutes when it's still just yours. Picture the phone starting to ring. And picture yourself, calm, clear-eyed, and warm, holding your boundaries with the takers and holding the real ones close. Letting the money show you the truth, instead of letting it show you at your worst. Because you were never really going to be tested by the $1 million. You were always going to be tested by what it revealed, and now you know exactly what to watch for. Quick reminder that I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is financial advice, just some hard-earned thoughts on money and the people around it. If this one hits something real, a like and a share genuinely help it reach the next person, and I'd love to hear in the comments whether you think your circle would pass the test. I'll see you in the next one.